Alright, welcome back to JYR Trades. Today's session is for Monday, March 30th. Okay. As always, guys, everything that I post on this content on this channel is for educational purposes. It's not financial advice. But I will tell you this: if you want to learn market structure, auction theory, you want to learn the way institutional traders think, you're in the right place. If you want to actually learn and grow, okay, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comments. And as always, let's get on with it. Now, before I do get started, I want to give out a shout out to one of my students. I'm not going to say where, but Damien, this is a shout out to you. If you want to continue watching these videos, please continue watching them. And hopefully you'll learn something that will possibly change your life. All right, so let's get started, guys. So, guys, today's session, I'm going to break down a powerful lesson in understanding rotation versus expansion, and how liquidity truly drives the price. Okay? The market opened inside value today, but the mids and the POCs were not aligned. In other words, they were not inside the value the way we would expect them. Okay? So this created a hidden directional bias that wasn't obvious at first glance. Okay? At first, I did make a mistake myself, expecting for price to go back into value when it got out. Okay? But once I recognized the rejection, guys, I realigned myself with the order flow, and the move became clear. Okay, this is where things started to click. Understanding how liquidity, guys, gets targeted. All right, recognizing when value fails, and how the New York PM execution confirms the real move. All right, now, guys, I'm documenting this journey as I learn to read the market, auction theory, and liquidity one day at a time. Now you're gonna see right now that my chart looks a little different. Looks a little more cluttered because I've been working on several versions of Remitar. This is my own program that I've been working on, and this is the original Remitar that gives me the migration. And if you've been with me, you've been following this with me, this is the auction zero. This is where sellers and buyers agree is, the fair value price. Once New York happens, then we get a migration, and the new fair auction zero starts. And then, of course, I use my fibs. Okay, now how do I get my fibs, ladies and gentlemen? What I do, guys, is I measure from London and Asia's combined. So if, say, London has the highest and Asia has the lowest, I will measure, as always, I will measure the points and say that it's 490 points. Then I divide that by half. That amount is my new fib number. Okay, so if the session, say, is 450 points, then the fib that I'm going to measure from 1 to 0 is going to be 225 points. All right, so let's get started. All right, let's see. I swear every time I'm going to start these videos, I think I got it everything already here, and then I have to go back and look at my notes and go from there. Alright, so today was one of those days, guys, where the market looked like it was going to rotate, but it doesn't. If you don't understand what's really happening, you get trapped. That's the bottom line. Okay, you get trapped. Okay, if you think it's going to rotate, and say you decide to if you think the market is going to rotate from here to here, and all of a sudden, you take a buy here, and then, or say that you missed the first one, and then it starts coming back down, and you think, hey, it's going to rotate again, and all of a sudden you take a buy, and then boom, all of a sudden it starts going outside of that rotation. Okay, that's what I mean by saying you get trapped. Okay, so how did market open today? Market open, first of all, inside value. You see this white line and this white line? This represents New York's value. Okay, the previous New York's value. So you go to the previous session, guys, and in the previous session, what I do is I go ahead and get my fixed range volume profile, and I measure pretty much from the beginning of New York AM to the beginning of New York PM, and that will give me a predetermined fixed value area high, value area low. And that's how I get those values there. Okay, all right, here we go. So it opened inside value. Okay, so we start thinking, okay, is a rotation day? Possibly, But here's what I saw. This is where it starts to get a little deeper, because you need to understand, just because it opens inside a value, it doesn't mean that we're going to automatically assume it's a rotation. Okay, so here's the real clue, guys. The mids were not aligned. So in other words, if the mids were not inside here, both of them, all right, along with the POCs, that means it's not a true rotational day. Okay, so where are our mids? Let's look for them. So the first one is London, this purple line here. All right, and when you look at it and compare to the value area, it's actually not in the center. It's more about 70% towards the bottom. The POC aligned with this, which is this red line here, is also literally at the edge of value area low for New York. Now where's the other mid? It's actually down here. And then the POC is even further down. So basically the mids were not aligned. One was sitting deep, okay, inside value. The other one was already outside, below value. And the POC, same thing, leaning lower. All right, so let that sink in. Okay, that's not balance. What are those POCs and those mids doing? They're actually creating a hidden pressure. They're actually creating something that's hiding. Okay, now I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I actually made a mistake. So when price opened up, you'll notice that first of all, migration didn't happen right away. Usually migration happened within the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something around that nature. Today, it didn't happen. In fact, today we had a 200-point move, okay, before anything else, okay, and price started coming down, okay, and then eventually, boom, migration happened around 808. And then all of a sudden I got an entry short. But as you guys know, that those type of entry shorts, not necessarily what we take. Now, this is the pre-migration fib that I have here. I had it where market opened, the 0, okay? And then this is the post-migration, all right? And you can see that, you know, in post-migration, price did go to the 50 at the minimum, okay? Price did go to the 50, and then it came back to the 12 again, and then came down again to about maybe the 40. All right, started doing this rotation back and forth. Okay, now keep in mind that here I know it's a little difficult for you to see it. I already see it because I'm used to it. I have my 3 bands from Remitar 2.0, my larger bands here. All right, and they're telling me the story. This is where we usually trade from, okay? And you know, here normally, all right, if it breaks into it, all right, I kind of decide if I want to take a scalp, I will go ahead, and once we get above the white line and my other 3 EMAs, the smaller ones from 2.1 are below us, then I will target the green, right? And vice versa as we're coming down, okay, I will target the red, and so on. Now, where is New York value? Right here. You see that right there. And what are you seeing? Okay, you're seeing a rejection here. Rejection comes back up, doesn't really fully go over it, doesn't really go past that 12, okay, on the fib. Rejection. And I gotta be honest, here's the mistake that I made. Okay, I thought at one point, for some reason, I thought, okay, I think it's gonna go up here. And I made the mistake of going in here instead of waiting for a clearance from here. Once I saw that the rejection happened here, and then I saw that Remitar 2.0 started getting flat with New York PM, because remember on New York PM, my Remitars, they started going flat, and it really helps me to see the move for New York PM. And what happened? Once the rejection started, once it went through it, I said, okay, I exited out. I took that loss. Okay. And what did I do? Okay. Once I saw that the rejection happened, everything changed. This wasn't a rotation anymore. Okay. This was a continuation after it grabbed the liquidity it had to grab. orders that were thinking we were gonna go long, okay, back into value, including mine. Okay, once that happened, boom, price started coming. Once I saw the rejection, guys, here, I just started to go back in right away. And what did I target? Honestly, guys, I targeted my last POC. But to be honest with you, I probably should have targeted at least the one, the -1. And you can see price did come down to the 87. Okay, and then here came back up to the mid, and after that started coming back down. Shallow pullbacks, and there it is, all the way to the 1.50. Okay, now guys, this is the thing. When it opens inside value and we have directional pressure with the mids, one being leaning, say 70%, okay, down one side of the value, and then the other one's already way out of it in the same direction, and then you got your POCs and you got the other POC leaning down. That's gonna tell you two things. All right, price is gonna probe to see where is the liquidity, and in this case the mids had the liquidity. All right, so what happened? Remitar did not give me an immediate migration. In fact, this was a pre-migration move here. All right, and boy, this lesson is a good one, because what this tells me again, no immediate migration, but there's a pre-migration move, okay, possibly towards VWAP. In this case it was VWAP, and then we have a rotation at first, grabs the liquidity needs to grab, and usually around New York PM it makes a decision to make the expansion. This is where the real move started to happen, not at the open. Yeah, this was a nice move here, don't get me wrong, but the real move was this one. This was the real move of the day. The market revealed its intention. That's when the market, and man, I'm glad I had Remitar 2.0. And guys, I'm also going to show you here this other one that I had, Remitar 2.2A or 3, I can't remember. This actually tells me of this is a no trade zone. And what did I learn? Well, once price actually got out of this here, I could have taken this trade here. Alright, so guys, this is what I'm learning right now. Just because we open inside value, it doesn't mean we stay there. Alright, you have to read where the liquidity is. You have to look at your mids, your POCs. Okay, this is where price actually wants to go. Alright, now I'm not perfect yet. I learned that today, but I am seeing it more and more. And the more you see it, the more you video journal, the more you journal in your own way. Like I said, I'm doing video journaling really for me to go back and look at these videos. When I look at my pinned comments, I'm going to be able to see, I'm going to look at, those are going to be my notes, you know, and I'm going to always go back and look at it. And the goal is this, to get to the point where you don't guess, you understand. Okay. As always, guys, everything I post on this video, everything I post on this content is for educational purposes. It's not financial advice, but I hope that this has helped you. If you need to rewatch the video, see the content again, see the explanation, you know, please do so. Please subscribe, like, and share, and we'll see you guys on the